Tonight's broadcast of the Weekly Underworld Report is brought to you in part by Witchcraft Dinner, now with 30% more cheese Wisney. And now, award-winning news anchor Satan, forecaster Troy with weather, Kim Jong-il with fashion, and Astaroth with celebrity news. This is the Weekly Underworld Report on Hell's News Network. What else do you have to do, be tortured?
Watch it.
This week's top story. Just like last week's top story, attendance at Hell is on the rise. Yes, it seems like Hell is the new heaven. People are flocking here in record numbers, and Hell is ready to welcome them with open arms. Last night's soul inception shattered the record set on January 23rd, 1556 for inbound souls to Hell. Nobody really knows what the cause of this influx is, but experts say it shows no sign of stopping. Studies have shown the trends to be possibly caused by human conditions as small as healthy lifestyles quickly becoming vanity addictions, to things as large as a corrupt church system as the only other option. One thing is for sure, things are looking good for Hell's army. Haha, very true. Sadly though, if we take a look at the life toll of people not killed by nuclear apocalypse, we can see that the numbers could have been a lot higher. I gotta admit, I cannot believe those monkeys haven't hit the kill switch yet. I made it a big red button. How much more tempting can it get? Tragedy struck home this weekend when a small Christian ministry was discovered in the New Bronx. They had set up a drop-in center for the needy and greedy, committed random kindness, even gave soup to the pedophiles in the pit. As usual, they were stupidly obvious about it and were reported swiftly, and authorities were able to murder and detain those responsible. Police are investigating how they got into Hell to make sure it never happens again. One of the members of the ministry detained turned out to be HBI's third most wanted angel, Jesus Christ, aka Christ, aka Lamb of God, aka JC, and of course the notorious Admiral Slippy Fist. He was arrested without incident and is currently being held in my luxurious hillside estate in Hollywood. Unfortunately, for the last 3 days, he's done nothing but sit around eating Doritos, smokes all my weed, and never chips in for pizza or beer. We'll keep you updated as the story unfolds. Moving on to international news, a breaking story from my favorite place on earth, America. U.S. Congress has passed a law making it illegal for anyone who has seen art to produce art. We're going live to Washington, D.C., where our field correspondent, Geraldo Riviera, is going to take us through what this bill, being called the I Deserve Act, is going to mean for the people of America. Geraldo, what is the atmosphere up there right now?
Well, Satan, let me tell you, I haven't seen artists this unhappy since file sharing was legalized, and the general public is depressed as they know this is really going to affect the kinds of movies and TV shows they're going to have access to in the future. The only people that seem to be looking forward to the bill are the Blind Directors Guild of America, who said, and I quote, "Who's talking? And how did you get into my office?"
Geraldo, what were the events that led to this bill gaining so much support in Congress?
Well, Satan, it all started in 2013 when Sophia Stewart won a lawsuit against the Terminator and the Matrix for copyright infringement and racketeering. That opened the floodgates for lawyers to start building cases that wouldn't have had a leg to stand on without that vital precedent set by the Termatrixator case. They started going sue crazy. After that, the studios became so fearful of being sued, the only movies that came out for years were remakes. In 2015, for example, we had the release of Iron Man, New Iron Man, Amazing New Iron Man, Classic Iron Man, and Iron Woman, starring Robert Downey Jr., New Robert Downey Jr., Amazing New Robert Downey Jr., Classic Downey, and Robin Downey Jr. The fallout from that chain of movies tied up the courts for years. The stars of the film sued the production company and anyone involved. The company sued the actors and anyone involved, both bankrupting the studio and giving them the finances to remake all the films the next year. And it wasn't just the movie industry affected by this bill. The music industry felt just as stagnant by this time. Canadian Bush sued English Bush sued Australian Bush sued Busch Gardens, and they all fought a lawsuit spearheaded by Madonna's Bush against former President George W. Bush, who subsequently had to change his name to George W. Bush X. The music industry had a few options left if they were to survive. One was to do remakes of entire albums, ironically plagiarizing the movie company's idea. Justin Bieber remade Metallica's Black Album, Bob Dylan remade Tupac's entire collection, and the god-awful remake of the Dead Kennedys' Give Me Convenience or Give Me Death by Jack White. All of those posted #1 on the billboards despite not selling a single album. When that didn't work out, they started just being comfortable with the trillions of dollars they already got from sales of classic published recordings.
So now that we have the new I Deserve bill, what does the future on Earth look like now?
So basically, lawyers are ready to pounce on anyone who makes a story with either a character or a plot. Any musician that plays a note that has been previously recorded. Forget about lyrics or dialogue, as every word ever invented by man is recorded on YouTube right now. And even some words that haven't been invented yet. So in the future, instead of movies, we'll be seeing plays, which already have no characters or plot. Musicians are forced to invent new instruments to create new sounds, which of course, when recorded, can never be played again. Then of course there's painting, sculpting, writing, miming, and hip-hop cross-stitch, which nobody but fags consider art.
Great news, Guy. I can't tell you how excited I am about that. I never really liked that art bullshit anyway. I'll admit I never really got it. Why would you want to stare at an object when you could be railing a line of blow off a hooker's ass?
One thing I'd like to add is, Kid Rock has got dipshit-lomatic immunity, and is exempt from all rulings. He is allowed to steal anyone's work and use it to produce his own music, and will be given royalties retroactively anytime the original artist's music is played. The people are applauding this move as a great victory for America.
We really are living in a golden age here, people. God damn it, I love lawyers. They make my big red Satan balls tingle.
Well, if that story made you feel good, Satan, you're really going to like this. Taking momentum from the notoriously egotistical human right not to be offended legislation that passed last spring, the lawyers have managed to convince Congress to add the human right not to lose money, which basically provides any human the right not to have their self-satisfaction negatively impacted by the painful regret that is caused by loss of money. Any business, citizen, or government who has suffered any kind of money loss is guaranteed compensation of equal or greater value.
And who exactly will be compensating these individuals?
At this point, Satan, no one really knows. The overall feeling is just that these people and institutes have been victimized, and somebody should have to pay.
Is there anything lawyers can't do?
The sky is the limit, Satan.
Well, thanks, Guy. Very interesting stuff going on Earth. I'd just like to give a huge shout out to my dogs in the American Senate. I don't own or control them, but they just keep doing it all on their own. See you in a few years, guys. Yes, Astaroth, we all know your sisters are in the Senate. Sorry, stepsister. In our next story, disturbing news from Vatican City today is the newly elected Pope Francis is actually a holy man of the cloth. Ever since his election, he has said some really shocking things. He has denounced several traditional Catholic beliefs and might actually topple the church like a Jenga game. He has declared the church is no longer against homosexuals, abortion, contraceptives, free thought, and green M&Ms. He is quoted as saying they will no longer harbor convicted pedophiles or allow their congregation to act overzealous and judgmental. Doesn't he realize how long and hard I've worked corrupting the Catholics, all the overtime and money I've spent, Pope after fucking Pope, trying to convince these chimps that they were doing the Lord's work. And just when I have them trained perfectly and I barely have to try anymore, this fucking guy... Yes, you're right, Astaroth. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I've got a little riled up there. Well, yes, I know. I want the church to fall too, but not this way. If you take away the Catholics' need to condemn and judge, all you're left with is bloody Christians. And we all know Christians have a 70% chance of getting into heaven. If this Pope isn't assassinated in the next 3 months, I will come up there myself. I'll do it, so help me God. Pardon my language. I will. And while we're on the subject, why hasn't anyone killed that Michael Moore fuck? I asked for him to be assassinated years ago. How many more of my sweet plans is he going to ruin before someone hits him with a bus? Seriously, how hard is it to kill a 400-pound obese man? Somebody fucking cut the brake lines on his rascal, push him down the Hollywood Hills, and hopefully Lindsay Lohan will be so smacked out of her skull behind the wheel of her Ferrari that she won't even see his gargantuan ass and run him over. Good point. While we're on the subject, it's time for celebrity news with your portal to the stars, Astaroth. What kinds of silly things are those celebrities up to today? Look at all those artists out there that cleaned up and started making shitty music. Clapton, Devin Townsend, seriously, Epic Cloud, what the fuck, man? Eminem, Want some advice, kids? Don't stop taking drugs if you want to create something that isn't a piece of shit. Well, that's the exception, not the rule. Yeah, I know Carrot Cock has been trying OD for years now in an attempt to become relevant again, but we don't need his kind down here. He annoys the fuck out of me. People like Carrot Cock are the reason Purgatory was created. That's it for celebrity news. Okay, so that brings us to this week's edition of Idle Chat, where Idle Chat is the devil's playground. Today's topic is going to be what some have called a massive increase in pollution in hell. I'm going to be speaking to Ira Einhorn, who recently arrived at Hell's Gate from Earth, where he was an activist for environmental change and was the founder of what vegetarian pussies celebrate as Earth Day, father, husband, and inventor of the monkey dishwasher. Ira, great to have you on my show.
Well, Satan, I wish I could say I was glad to be here.
Yeah, it seems kind of weird that you'd end up in hell. Your resume is mighty impressive. I guess you didn't do those good deeds for the right reasons, huh?
Well, I did do some time for allegedly stabbing my wife and kids, but I was innocent.
Come on now, Ira. If we're going to chat about these issues, I'm going to need total honesty. Trust me, nobody is here allegedly, and I would know.
Okay, I did it. I saw her stabbing the defenseless Earth with a garden hoe, so I stabbed her. It was me. She wasn't even my first. There were a few girls in college who wouldn't sleep with me. Oh God, so much blood. Please forgive me.
Well, it's a little late for that, Ira. The only people that think God forgives anything are people who have done something unforgivable. Remember your son? What happened to him?
Oh God, Ira Jr. He shouldn't have come out. He shouldn't have seen what I was doing.
So you murdered your son in cold blood because he was a witness?
What? Not because of that. When he saw what I was doing, he started crying and dropped his plate of macaroni, littering it all over the yard. He wouldn't pick it up no matter how hard I bounced his head off the cement. Thanks, Astaroth. I really needed to hear that.
Well, you'll be glad to know Ira Jr. is in heaven. So I guess God forgives littering.
Well, I guess it was for a good cause, because after college I figured if I couldn't save my soul, I would save the environment. And now I get a chance to save a whole new environment here in hell.
Yeah, saving. That's what we need down here.
Exactly, so my plan is to cut down on emissions by 97%, and I have several different strategies to obtain a greener, more efficient hell that our children can enjoy for generations.
How long have you said you've been down here?
I just flew in from Jersey last night, and boy, are my arms tired.
I see. Carry on.
Well, what I'm proposing is that on June 6th at 6 a.m. every year, we celebrate Hell Day. And I propose that during this celebration, we all consciously take part in a cleaning up of hell. Things like planting trees in a memorial garden, turning off the lava pits for 1 hour, and of course, putting on one of my authentic Hell Day t-shirts. I really think that if we can just start having one day a year dedicated to making hell a better place to live, and for our kids to live, you would see just how fast the attitudes of the people would change. I just know deep down in my heart that if we all do our part in cleaning the smog from the sky, I'll get to see my son again. I mean, the sun again.
Okay, so let me tell you how it works in the underworld. Firstly, I want you to understand that the environment down here does not work the same as on Earth. Hell does not need a cleaning up, and if it did, you wouldn't be able to do it anyways, mortal. Secondly, I don't know if you noticed, but nothing grows down here, ever. The only thing that grows down here is my army, and again, nothing you can really help with. Thirdly, you probably don't know this because you're not a scientist, but if we were to shut off the lava pits, it would bring a chain of cataclysmic events that would destroy the Earth. And lastly, all the people whose attitudes you want to change can't change fuck all about this environment. I am king of this world, and I control everything that happens here. I started this realm thousands of years ago, and it has flourished. Don't you think if I wanted to gussy it up a bit, I would have by now? So if there's anyone's attitude you need to change for the little children, it's mine. And you will not be the first moronic earth monkey to crash land on my soil and try to plant trees on it. It's not soil you landed on, it's ash. And it's not smog, it's suffering. 85% of the smog you see comes from the eternal fires in the pedophile pit. And I'll be damned if those fires will ever stop burning while I have this throne. And for the record, even if I decided I was sick of the smog, you know what's up there? Thousands of miles of rock. You are never going to see the sun again. The sooner you come to terms with that, the better.
Well, I just figured that if I did good deeds here, I might be able to go to heaven and...
No, what you had to do was good deeds before you got here. It's too late for you now. My job would be a lot easier if you mortals would just realize one simple fact. God does not want you. All day, all I do is punish the wicked, the lost, the evil. Some would consider that a good deed. Do I get to go back to heaven? No. What is mankind's infatuation with the sun? I fucking hate the sun. You know, he invented that to kill you. He knew overexposure to the ultraviolet rays it emits is toxic to your kind, causing you countless diseases and cancers, scorching the earth beyond repair, and he even genetically engineered your skin to actually break down due to these rays. It slowly cooks you until you become weak and frail and you die. Sun exposure has proven to permanently damage your skin cells, which over time is directly responsible for the wrinkled, splotchy, freckled, cancer-filled, old, veiny, dried-up corpse that is left when you do finally succumb to this giant death ball. The only thing that even lets you survive long enough to have any fun at all is my lava. My volcanoes emit just the right amount of smoke into the atmosphere to keep the temperature at a comfortable level. If it wasn't for your sun, mankind would be immortal. Well, not immortal, but you would look sexy when you died. I got news for you, mankind. God wants you dead. I'm legally not allowed to tell you how I know this due to a cease and desist order, but here are a few shining examples to ponder. Let's take a look at the Old Testament. Even though it is mostly bullshit, God, by his own admission, is terrible in that. All wrath, all the time. He does nothing but plague and flood shit. Famine's on tap. He paints himself up as quite the dealer of death. Then he cuddles your charred remains in his arms and whispers, "It's alright, I love you." What the fuck? But okay, that's a book of fairy tales. So let's see some hard evidence. We have the Crusades, where God's chosen people waged war against God's other chosen people, and none of these monkeys figured out that they were talking to the same guy. He purposely gave them opposing rules and watched them kill each other like some kind of messed up show, and continues to this very day. Then skip ahead a few centuries and we have this guy, Adolf Hitler, or the Terminator as his friends called him, who went on a worldwide killing spree trying to eradicate the Jews, the people some hold responsible for the murder of God's Son, Jesus of Nazareth, as seen in Mel Gibson's The Passion of the Christ. Now, I'm not saying I know what happened, but here are the facts. I had never heard of Hitler before the 1940s. I never had him on my payroll, and look at who he was targeting. The message is clear. God was saying, kill my son and I'll kill you back. I guess even he himself has a hard time forgiving sometimes, and that is just two examples out of literally millions. People killed helping each other, people killed while praying, but I don't think I've made my point. Earth, if my volcanoes weren't erupting new land for you to walk on, God's rains would wash you out of existence.
Well, I'd like to counter the point you had about...
Oh fuck, you're still here? You don't get to counter shit. I've got a counter for you. I propose that on June 6th at 6 a.m. every year, you will be sent to the pedophile pits are too obvious. Something we haven't done in a while. Ah, perfect. We haven't done that one since Andy Warhol in '87. Mr. Ira Einhorn, you have been one amazing contestant tonight on Idle Chat, and I would like to thank you for your time. Tell him what he's won, Johnny.
You've won an all-inclusive one-night stay at the Styx Riviera, where you will be pampered in one of our exclusive torture chamber spas. Your day at the spa will begin with a soothing spinal cord removal, followed by a deep cleansing enema using our patented mixture of toxic waste and garbage. Then you'll be swept off to get a facial transformation in the green room, where our qualified doctors will rejuvenate your skin by implanting taste buds around the entire circumference of your head. And finally, this magical day will be capped off by having your head shoved up your garbage-filled ass. All your dreams will come true as you recycle your own excrement and savor every last drop of delicious raw sewage. You'll come back home feeling like a new man. The Styx Riviera, where the damned go to have one hell of a damn good time.
And don't worry, Ira, you'll get to wear your Hell Day t-shirt. Now get out of here. Go have some fun.
But it isn't June, it's October.
Oh yeah, one more thing. I control time. Yeah, but it'll take him years to figure out I don't actually control time. Now I would like to respond to a letter I received from one Larry Steinman. Dear Satan, I would have to disagree with your commentary in the last week's news report on bestiality. It is natural for a man and a blah blah blah. You know what, Larry? You could just suck my giant smelly devil cock. Yeah, for the next 3 months, every Tuesday at 3 p.m., that will be your task. You just replaced Candy as my Tuesday girl. Remember, if you would like to voice your opinions or concerns on any of the news reports here on Hell's News, send your letter to Eat Shit, you self-worthless minion. Listen, I rule this place. It's your fault you're here. Deal with it. Now for some local news. It seems local hero the Ferryman is being sued by Woody Allen. We'll have more details as they come. And downtown today, celebrations were heard for blocks, as 2 new bands were officially named Evil Enough for Hell. Soul Molester's new release, Catholic My Choir Boy Ass, and Churchburner's new album, God Fuck Me, guaranteed them a spot on the official Hell playlist. I also let Elton John's entire discography in just to see the look on Ronnie James Dio's face. Oh man, it's funny how bad he wants to get in here. I swear he cried. Yeah, I was surprised too. He lived his life like an angel, but you know how God is about sodomy. Well, he can keep his Collective Soul and Creed tapes. That shit is like sodomy of the mind. I'll take Elton John if it means we can get Queen. The next few stories, I'm not sure whether they qualify as good or bad news. In New York this morning, a school bus flipped on the freeway, trapping 16 students in the burning wreckage. Good news, right? Not exactly, because just in the nick of time, a choir group from St. Nick's Cathedral pulled up and began pulling kids from the bus. Now I know you're thinking, what a tragedy. Well, this is where it gets really interesting. As the last child is pulled from the wreckage, a helicopter carrying St. Nick's Cathedral was airlifting it to a new location when it dislodged from the helicopter and miraculously landed on them, crushing all the students and all but 2 of the choir group, who had to eat each other to try to survive in the wreckage. A memorial service will be held at St. Nick's Cathedral from its new location on the side of the freeway. The Organized Charity Organization, or OCO, released stats today posting record numbers of charitable contributions from around the globe. Now, selfless giving is definitely a bad thing for Hell's numbers, but thankfully the CEOs of these charities do terrible things with the money, and the donors really only get a cheap wristband that was made by Cambodian children, pretty much making it a total wash. Speaking of total wash, or brainwash in this case, new religions are popping up all over the place, each one just as delightfully stupid as the last. Some recent examples being Joseph's Witness, the Dinologists, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the First Church of Religious Atheism, and of course the infamous Halem Bops, who believe that there's a UFO following the band Hanson and you can board it by killing yourself at the show. It's bad that they keep trying to get into heaven, but I just can't help but laugh at how pathetic their attempts are. If I could feel human emotions, I would be really sympathetic towards those poor misguided animals, but I can't, and I don't. I don't usually do these, but our team at the Weekly Underworld Report would like to retract a news report we did last week. The mistake resulted in a man being charged with treason and terrorism, who was then subsequently put to death. We here at the Weekly Underworld Report would like to sincerely apologize to Marty the Tie Salesman. We accidentally reported he had ties to terrorist organizations, when apparently what happened was that he had sold ties to terrorist organizations. Rest in peace, Marty. You will be forgotten. The ribbon-cutting ceremony was held today for the future site of Kim Kardashian's mansion that she prepaid for with her double platinum MasterCard. We have word that she will not be joined by Kanye Kardashian and their children, East, Adam, South by South, Parallel Equator, and Little Jeff, as it has become apparent that he really is an alien thunder god, and they are his demigod offspring. Apparently all you have to do is say you're Jesus to get into heaven. Wait, what the fuck? I'm sorry, I'm going to have to interrupt this news report. I don't know what's happening here. I've never gotten a call before. Phones are one of the first things I got rid of. Really, I don't even know why I have it. Hello? Satan's phone?
What up, biatch?
Oh, God, it's you.
Yeah, it's me. Seriously, what's up?
We haven't talked in 1,000 years and you say what's up? What the fuck do you mean what's up?
Huh, dude. Lots has been up. I got this great thing going on with this girl I've been seeing. I got lots of work to do. My son's doing great. He's got a ton of followers. Yeah, I just couldn't be happier. Each day is a blessing, man. So, what's up?
God, I am not having this talk with you right now. What the fuck do you want?
Alright, Jesse, man. Frankie says relax. You don't have to curse. Total bummer. Okay, I want 2 large pepperoni pizzas with Choco Poppers, and a 2-liter of Sprite, and 2 Caliente Honey Ranch Dippers. And I want it delivered, man. Oh, do you have any more of those hash brownies your daughter made at school?
God, it's Satan, not the pizza delivery guy. Are you stoned again?
Whoa, total mind blower. Has anyone ever told you you sound just like the guy from Domino's?
Not recently.
Well, you do. Anyway, wow, man, how did I dial you? I thought you got rid of phones.
Well, I just had to get the new iPhone 7. I wish I could say I'm happy to hear from you, but last time we spoke, didn't really go so well.
Yeah, what was up with that? I was just chilling at the grad party, and you were being all self-righteous and uppity like always. That's your problem, you know. You were always so uptight. Anyway, what's up?
Really? You have no idea why I was pissed?
Satan, man. Is it because I was with Darla? I would have let you have her, man. You know we were bros. You didn't have to leave.
God, you are impossible. Okay, let me fresh your memory, dude. For 4 years I worked hard day and night on this project that I called Earth. And I had this thing I called mankind that would rule over the planet. And these things I called animals. The planet was covered in this shit I called plant life, which all breathed this thing I called air. I had every little microscopic element fine-tuned to allow for perfectly harmonious existence, free of pain and hardship. And just when I was ready to launch, after months of calculating, debugging, testing, analysis, and after I poured my heart and soul into this, Earth, I woke up one morning and my project was gone. I looked all over the apartment, but guess what? It was not there, and neither were you, for days. Then I started hearing that God had created this new amazing thing he called Earth. Sound familiar?
Dude, like, what if we're all just a bunch of molecules floating in a shoebox with holes poked through the side? You know, and like, the only way to escape is to get in your spaceship and go full speed ahead towards...
Hey, shut the fuck up. God, you haven't changed a bit since college. Listen, asshole, you fucking stole my project and took full credit for the entire thing. That's why I left.
Hey, I mentioned you in my book.
Yeah, that was flattering. Very flattering.
What do you mean?
You made me sound like a selfish asshole.
You are a selfish frickhole. And anyway, my Earth was way different than yours. Plus, I didn't know what it was when I took it. And I didn't think you were taking it too seriously anyway. I made your little game way better too. I added conflict and point system. A lot of sweet upgrades. The game you made had no point.
When I made it, it wasn't a game.
If it wasn't a game, what was it, man?
It was, it was supposed to be, fuck, I don't know what it was, but it was way better than the abomination you made. Cool upgrades, dickhead. The conflict you added was pain and misery. The point system was money. You can't seriously think it was better with those. I had discovered a perfectly self-sustainable environment, and you butchered it. I created a perpetual motion machine, and you turned it into a perpetual emotion machine.
Well, I gave them choice, or what I called free will.
They already had free will in my program. Actual freedom. You're so fucking egotistical you don't even realize that, pick between a terrible, burning, fiery, painful eternity or love me and think I'm the fucking coolest guy out there. It's not a choice. It's a threat.
I am the coolest guy out there.
Yeah, you're out there for sure. So I'm gonna hang up soon if this isn't going to go anywhere.
Wait, Satan, don't hang up, man. I want to tell you something. This is really important. Are you there, Satan?
Yes?
You still there?
Yes, God fucking damn it, I'm here.
Okay, good. So, I just want you to know that I forgive you for what you did, and I miss you, buddy. Why don't you just come on back home, stop this charade, and just come back to heaven, man? I miss you like the deserts miss the rain.
Fuck you, man. You don't get to forgive me. I didn't do anything wrong. You should be apologizing for being such a dick. When I come back to heaven, it's gonna be for war. I'm bringing my Hellspawn army and my Death Knight lawyers, and I'm gonna take the Earth back from you and right all the wrongs you did.
Well, you'd better hurry up, because I'm getting bored of Earth. I'm thinking of starting a new game. It'll be like Halo combined with Myst, with a touch of Angry Birds. And you better not steal that idea.
God, if you even think about scrapping the Earth before I get to fix what you... Oh, look who it is. Your only son just texted me to see if I could pick up more beer and weed, then asked if he could rent a porn movie on my cable box. Which reminds me, how long is he going to be staying down here?
What? Jesus isn't down there. He's in his room, man, listening to the new Creed album. Like he has been for the last 4 days.
You might want to go check, dipshit.
Jesus, get down here right now!
He's not there. He's on my couch eating all my fucking food.
Oh, you rotten king of snakes! You tempted my sweet innocent young Jesus away from me.
No, he just came here. I don't really have the power to tempt. That was you who said I could do that. How could I tempt him anyway? He's not doing anything here he didn't do at home. I don't know what you did to him, but he wants to be here.
Well, you know how kids are, man. One day they're babies, then you send them to Earth to be brutally tortured and then murdered in the hot sun on a piece of wood. Then they resurrect and all of a sudden they hate you. He must be going through one of those phases of his.
Well, maybe it's the parenting. You ever think of that? Maybe your son doesn't need love and forgiveness. Maybe he needed instruction and direction. Look at my son, for example. He moved out when he was 18, got a law degree from Harvard. He's really making a name for himself on Earth. He's married to a real nice transvestite, has 3 kids, a really mature stand-up and take-charge guy. Your son has asked me 5 times to change his diaper.
You know what we need? Beers. Talk about our kids over some brewskis.
You haven't listened to a fucking word I've said, have you?
You said the F word a lot.
You know what? Yeah, we should go for beers. But I would love to spend a whole afternoon with my mortal enemy talking about his fuck-up of a son.
Cool, bro. Shillelaghs?
I hate you more than you will ever know.
God, get your keister up here and change my frickin' diaper. It's already 3:05. Where's Jesus? My feet are cold.
God, Dad, I'm talking with a friend, man. Not cool.
I don't give a frick what you're doing. Put your pecker down and get up here.
Alright, I gotta go. The frickin' Holy Ghost is riding my ass like always. I'm G-damn sick of him. Hey, do you think I can crash at your place for a while?
Goodbye. Well, that wraps up this week's edition of Weekly Underworld Report. What a roller coaster of a ride it's been. I'm so glad you were all able to tune in and take part in tonight's show. Please keep sending all your complaints about hell to our mailroom and I'll keep reading them on air. The mantra of this week is, if it's there, why not use it? Stay tuned after the show for a special live performance from the benefit concert from the victims of Sodom and Gomorrah. I'd like to thank our sponsors, the 3-Phase Car Alarm, because your possessions are worth more than another life. And Tim Hortons Send a Kid to FEMA Camp. Thank you and good night.
Yo, I don't know why you do this, Satan. Nobody's gonna hear this. Sucker.
I know.
If you thought that last skit was witty and insightful, click on the next link. If you're religious and got offended, don't click on the next link. Choose your own adventure.